transport is a key factor in this program. There is the Natural Pasture Management Unit in Lausanne, which is financed half by one and half by the design together work, and which handles all the operational part of the program. And then we have the independent experts which have to evaluate it. This is the real-time process how it works. So ADAMS, for those who are not aware of it, is the web platform which more or less takes into account all of what has to do with anti-doping, from whereabouts to TUEs to lab results and so on. Testing plan. Of course, all these have to provide whereabouts. So we have to know where they are in order to test them out of competition, pre-competition, in competition. So this is another important aspect. Error or competition tests in the past were only related to the competition. The aspect is in and out of competition. Once the sample has been collected, the doping control form is entered into ADAMS. Sample is analyzed, the result is entered into ADAMS. This match allows to put a name to the results. On an anonymous base, the APMU can extract this result from ADAMS, enter it in the software, and generate a new profile, which is then sent to the expert. The expert, always anonymously, evaluating the profile, can ask for additional information, for instance, competition schedule, for instance, whereabout information and so on, because they don't know who it is. Of course, the same value has a different meaning if it's collected the day of the departure into France, or if it's collected while the athlete is injured and resting at home. And then the expert provides a recommendation to the UCI and to the body. For instance, this profile is normal, as you will see. This profile needs some targeting for the sample, or we could proceed with an antibiotic range. The guidelines tell us that the expert should evaluate the profile in which the model has highlighted an abnormality with theoretically 99.9 probability. At the UCI, we have decided to have a lower threshold, so 99%, to have more profile analyzed. And they have to evaluate the quality of the results which have been provided to them. If there are any physiological reason for this profile, possible pathological conditions, or actually what the doping scenario. And then they have to help us in defining which habit should be targeted, and also before opening the case, reviewing the methodology. At the end, if we proceed, we have to assist us in court. This is what they see. So this is the profile. It's anonymous. They can only see that it's a cyclist, the sex, and so on. This is all the raw data that have been collected and entered into the system. So for all the parameters I was mentioning before, and these raw data generate the profile. So they can help also with the visual help of the profile. Results. So in 2010, we had 852 athletes. We had 150 among them were new athletes in the program. Since 2008, we have conducted more than 50 to 25,000 tests, which means that for more than 60% of the athletes, we now have more than 50 blood tests. So their profile consists of more than 15 results. Of course, at the beginning, those were not all targeted tests. So we were telling to our collection providers, you have to go and test the athlete, or you have to go and test this team 2-3 times in the next months. And then they decided when to do. Now that we have a database which is quite consistent, and we know which profile is suspicious, for this limited number of athletes, we will try to do each test as a target test. these are the results of the experts' evaluation. So since 2008, more than 1,000 profiles were generated. Half of them were not evaluated by the expert because they were below this 99% threshold. And among those almost 600 which were evaluated, 4 were considered as normal or pathological, 254 were considered as normal, and 337 showed some unusual aspects. Half of them, it was not clear for the experts. Some of them said, oh, still it's normal, others say, well, this atom should be targeted. You have to realize that the idea of targeting an atom bears no consequences on him, because if it's tested and he is not taking anything, it will be negative. And a little bit less than 200, we had from the expert the advice either to target them or maybe proceed with anti-doping rule violation. So for the possible anti-doping rule violation, we had first an evaluation from the single experts. When several experts agreed, we request additional information, whereabouts, competition schedule, dog packs. We then gather all the experts together, we discuss these abnormal profiles, and we decide for which case we can proceed further on with the disciplinary procedure. There is now a new requirement from WADA, which is once it has been decided it's a possible anti-doping violation, the author only is informed, and he has 30 days to provide medical justification for his profile. This medical justification is then submitted again to the expert, and they will have to take the final decision. Okay, we are still convinced that there are no other explanations provided, or based on the explanation provided by the author, we changed our idea on the profile. What was the outcome? We have opened 9 procedures for the violation of Article 2.2, so the use of the prohibited substance. 4 were sanctioned 2 years, and there were no appeals from the national level decision. 4 appealed to CAS. 2 cases concluded with the anti-sanction. In one case, the CAS overruled the decision from the national body, and 2 decisions are still pending. So the case has been heard, now we're waiting for the decision. But what is also important is that based on the targeting, based on information that the passport gave us, we could confirm that 26 atoms with a positive test for PO, for Sierra, for Dianicus, for electropoiesis stimulating agent. So it's not only the cases that you can open based on the profile, but it's also what you can get by targeting methods. And then another important aspect is the deterrence. The fear of being caught. Now athletes are tested all the time. I will show you that this has an impact because we see now better body results than in the past. And then athletes allow us to show their passport when they want to change teeth. And it happens quite often that an athlete is not now on a routine because of this passport. I'm almost finished. All of this is still an important legal challenges. First of all, because we are discussing one sample which is positive for EPO, which is positive for testosterone, which is positive for amphetamine. We are dealing with 10, 15, 20, or even more samples. So the defense lawyer will try to attack each of these samples in order to try to break what we could call this chain. So if he thinks that breaking, invalidating one results will invalidate all the profile, he might succeed. So far, this is not been the case. Then, it's not a test which says you have a substance in the urine or in the blood. We still have a lot of physiological explanation behind the interpretation of the results, which could be the change of the values to the competitive season, the role that posture can have on the values, the role of natural or induced hypoxia. We have a medical explanation which were not declared at the time of the test, but all of a sudden they come out at the time of the notification of the abnormal profile. So So far, with the case of the diabetic, we had to also rely on the opinion of gastroenterologists, not only experts of blood doping or rheumatologists. And then the issue of